Hey there, it's Diane Forster, and welcome to I Have Today, where we talk about the art of intentional living. And I am so excited. We have a very special woman coming into the studio today. I hope you guys are excited. All right, this show is about inspiring, empowering, and educating you through life's transitions. And my guest today is Caitlin Kiernan, and she's got an incredible story. She's an author, director, and digital content creator, and she's way, way, way more than that. She's an award-winning journalist, producer, beauty expert, and the author of a book called Pretty Sick, The Beauty Guide for Women with Cancer, which was the first beauty guide for women and cancer of its kind. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about her journey, how she got into what she was doing as a beauty director and journalist who's been featured in so many publications. We'll talk about that when I introduce her. And what she's doing now and has been doing, and the impact that she's making on women's lives. So our title of today's show is Thrive with Health and Beauty in Your 50s and Beyond. So she is all about that. She brings on, I'm a huge fan of her on TikTok, and she's all over Instagram too. And obviously she's going to talk about the other things that she's on, because she's on, and I'm drawing a blank of it right now, the online shopping channel. I don't know. Talk Shop Live, blah. Talk Shop Live, among other things that she's done. But she's really an expert in that area with beauty, but also, health and nutrition. And she's really about living an authentic, true life. And no matter what life throws at you, you take those signs as a universe, from the universe, as a redirection to change your life. And because of that attitude, she's like been up leveling herself. So we met on TikTok, and I liked her and she liked me. And I said, I need to have you on the show. So she's coming on today, and she's going to talk about how to thrive in your health and beauty in your 50s and beyond. So, all right, so that's coming up in a few minutes. Now, where you can find our show is we are streaming live on the E360 TV television network at 11 a.m. Pacific time every Monday. But you can also find us on Roku and Hulu and Amazon and Apple, and right now streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn as well. So if this is your first time here catching the show, I want to say welcome to the show. And if you've been here before, I want to say welcome back. So I've been doing this show on E360 for almost 3 years now. I think it's 3 years this month. I've done about over 100 episodes. I want to say I'm nearing 120 episodes on the network. And we also take this show and stream it as a podcast. So if you prefer to listen to podcasts, you can find that as well if you search I Have Today with Diane Forster. So be sure to check it out. Give me a follow and a review if you feel called to do that. That would mean the world to me. But my new latest obsession is TikTok. And I didn't know this was going to be my thing, but apparently universe had something in store for me. So on TikTok and all other social media channels, it's Diane Forster Official. And make sure it's Diane Forster Official. Do not get scammed. I know there's people with fake accounts out there with me on them already. And I will never reach out to you. I will never ask you for money. Do not get scammed. Didn't want to say that. All right. So what we do every single week on the show is we share an intention statement with you. We set an intention for the week. And this week's intention statement is, I have today to look and feel beautiful at any age. I have today to look and feel beautiful at any age, because you do. Age is just a number, and it's a belief that you have about it. So what we do every week is my amazing team makes this beautiful graphic for you of the intention statement. And there it is right now. And where you can find those are on my Instagram page, Diane Forster Official. If you go to my profile, there's a little button called wallpapers, and they're all there. And what I want you to do is I want you to take a screenshot of it, and I want you to use it as your screensaver on your phone for the entire week. Because how we create new habits, change beliefs, start to manifest is through positive repetition. So if you see this every time you look at your phone, which we average 150 times a day, if you can believe that crazy noise, it's going to go in. It's going to happen. So that's what I advise you to do, is go check it out there, and you'll flip through them all, because we do them for every show. We've got hundreds of them in there. So check them out. All right. So I'm going to bring Caitlin Kiernan in just a moment, but let's first hear a word from our sponsor, the Spifter. This week's episode of I Have Today is brought to you by the Spifter. The Spifter is a fun sifting spoon that makes cooking, baking, and decorating with sugars and spices so much fun. No more mess or wasting your spices. It's fast, clean, and easy. Everything looks and tastes delicious. It's also great for straining loose tea, getting pesky broken cork out of your wine glass, and draining liquid off food like olives and capers. Whether you're a novice cook or a gourmet chef, you'll love the results. The Spifter, the kitchen gadget that no kitchen should be without. Well, hey, Caitlin, how are you?
Hi, I feel like I need the Spifter.
You do? Do you know that's my invention?
Is it?
I did. I created it. I've been on QVC with it. And yes, yeah, that's
wow,
another.
Look at you. You are a woman of all talents. I love it.
Well, back at you, sister. Like tracks like. So, yeah. So I'm so excited to have you here today and have this conversation. We have so much to talk about. So anybody who's listening or watching, get ready for this, because Caitlin is truly amazing. And let me read a little bit more about you before we get started. Caitlin Kiernan is an award-winning journalist, producer, beauty expert, and digital content creator. She is the author of Pretty Sick, the beauty guide for women with cancer, as well as the host and co-producer of Walgreens' Feel More Like You Beauty Oncology podcast series. She has written for the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, Harper's Bazaar, Elle, People, Style Watch, Oprah Magazine, Oprah Daily, Refinery, Couture, The Zoe Report, and The Today Show, among others. She can be seen sharing her tips, tricks, and thoughts on life, menopause, and beauty on TikTok and Instagram. And you're also the beauty director for Talk Shop Live right now as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Talk Shop Live, the leading live selling e-com platform here in the US. It's a pretty cool platform. So
it is. Well, hi, Danny. Thank you. I love your show and seeing you're a high quality guest. Yes. Well, I love yours back, my soul sister. Great. So great to have you here. All right. Well, Caitlin, I want to hear your story. I mean, first, I want to hear how you got into this industry, and then I want to hear the journey that started to happen to you and for you in your 40s. So start with your background first.
So my first job really out of college was in newspapers, and I started off in fashion. But what I quickly learned in fashion was that if you weren't skinny, if you didn't have money, if you didn't have the it bag, it was kind of not, it wasn't really inclusive.
Yeah.
And at least back then, ladies, I'm 52. So I'm talking about, when I was in my 20s. And so I quickly made the shift to beauty, because beauty, what I like to call, is democratic. You could be a boy or a girl, you could be young or old, you could have any skin tone, and you were able to really be part of the conversation in beauty. So I immediately loved beauty. Those were my people. Meanwhile, I had never been a beauty girl growing up. Like, I was not the girl invited to prom. Like, I was never that girl. But just there was something very freeing about beauty and how loving of a space it was compared to fashion. And so I became, I was a fashion columnist and then a features writer. And my first job was a beauty director at a magazine after the newspaper. And I just loved it. I talked to celebrities and their glam squads. It was a fun job. You think about all the glamorous life of a beauty editor in a magazine. It was everything that it was like that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I got into beauty. And I think the real shift happened for me when I was diagnosed with breast cancer right after I had turned 40. Yeah. And when I went through, you know, chemotherapy and surgery, and eventually, you know, used all of the contacts that I had at the magazine to help me navigate the side effects. Like, because my doctors at the time were like, hey, I was like, oh my God, my hair is falling out. And they're like, we're not here to save your hair. We're here to save you. So,
Mm.
but they never gave me like the tools that I needed to kind of figure that out. So I really turned to all these experts. And at the end of it, someone said to me, oh, you look great for someone who has just gone through this battle. And I was like, oh, I should share these tips. So it was kind of my way of paying it forward. I really thought to myself, you know, I'm very lucky that I'm in a city where I have access to the best medical care and I have great experts at hand. But what is the single mom in Alabama, or the woman that doesn't live close to any kind of a medical breast, you know, cancer facility doing, or someone that doesn't have insurance? I just kept thinking about all my fellow women out there. And so I wrote the book, and it was the first beauty guide of its kind. And all the experts lent their voice to, you know, giving me these tips. So, you know, everybody from Joan London to Hoda Kotb to celebrity hairstylist Ted Gibson, you know, all these people. Wendy Williams was in there telling me how to like get wigs. Like, it was a really cathartic way of kind of ending that chapter in my life. And then
well, wait a second. I want, hey team, can you show a copy of the book, please? Caitlin, tell us the title of the book.
Called Pretty Sick, The Beauty Guide for Women with Cancer. There it is. And the illustrations were done by Jamie Lee Reardon, who I met her at a Dior event. She used to be the illustrator for Dior and the New York City Ballet. And I met her at a Dior event, and I loved her. She was doing sketches of the editors. And I said to her, if I ever write a book, will you illustrate it for me? And she laughed. And 5 years later, I wrote her and I said, you promised me that if I ever wrote a book, you would illustrate it. And she did it for me. So these, you know, and I really feel like so much of the book was really in the illustrations of kind of keeping it light and bright, and knowing that for the most part, you know, cancer is a time in your life, and it's a really difficult time, but there are things to look forward afterward. And I think her illustrations really help keep it positive. So I always loved her for that, you know.
That's fabulous. Yes. And thank you for doing that for women, you know, allowing them to be beautiful during it. So,
you know, I just felt like it was really, I feel like there's one thing that I find is a reoccurring theme in the cancer community. And it's that everybody's ready to like help the other person out when you're at that moment. And so it was a really, you know, it was something good that came out of a tough time. And I feel like that's kind of a running theme in my life too, is like, if things are tough, find the silver lining. Like, I write about this in the book. Like, you always have to, you know, it can be really hard to kind of like get out of the headspace of being in a bad situation. And it could be anything, your health, a sad family dynamic, you're fired from a job, whatever it is. Like, find the silver lining in that moment and lean into that, because it will really help you kind of get beyond and saying gratitudes. I actually started saying gratitudes. I was getting ready to go into the chemo suite one morning. You would do it in groups. So you were scheduled from like 9 to 11 or like 2 to 4, you know, whatever it was. It was like with the time increments. And I was sitting there really bummed out. And this woman who was sitting there with me, and she was way worse, further along than I was. You know, she had the cat hat on and she had lost her hair. And I was just like, I don't know. I was like in a mood, and she could feel my energy. And she was like, you know what you're missing in your life? You're missing your gratitudes. You got to start taking your gratitudes, because it will remind you of the blessings you do have, even though this is a tough time. And I remember kind of being a little irritated at her, but then as I was sitting there for hours on end, really thinking about it, and the more I started to do it, the more I really started to see this change in my life. Here's what doing a daily gratitude does. It instantly changes your vibrational state from low energy to one of positivity, gratitude, saying a gratitude instantly lifts your energy and it changes the vibration around you. And we all know that like attracts like. We were talking about this before we hopped on, was like, I met you because I stitched one of your videos that spoke to me on TikTok.
Yes.
And this is what happens, right? When you're raising your vibration, you call in the experiences of the moment and the things that you really want around you. And I think like starting to do those daily gratitudes, the book followed after I started doing them. Like literally my entire cancer journey shifted when I incorporated daily gratitudes into my life. And so,
yes.
yeah, all of that happened. So then the book came out, and at the time I was actually working at Amazon. I had helped launch Amazon Live. I was one of the 12, like the core producing team that launched Amazon Live with their first show, Style Code Live. And went on my book tour, came back, went back to editorial for a bit at another celebrity magazine. And then during the pandemic, I got a call from Talk Shop Live. And it's such a fascinating platform. For those of you who are not familiar with live selling is the future of retail. We see
Yes.
this, right? I launched the beauty vertical and now head up the beauty vertical there. And we deal with so many amazing brands. And I continue to work with really cool people. And I worked with, it's such a unicorn of a team. Like, this is what I'm saying too. Like, when you keep your vibration high, you just bring really creative, amazing people around you. And my entire team there, not my team, but the team that I am on is amazing, headed up by siblings, Brian and Tina Moore. And they're just like a ray of light every day. It's amazing when you are with your right people and you're at a company that people are wonderful and lovely and make the job fun and exciting for people. And we do that with brands every single day. So it's a great place to be,
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what I do.
Okay. Well, there's so much for me to unpack. Okay. The
Yeah.
first thing I want to say is bless that woman who was your teacher with gratitude. Sometimes we, the mirror needs to be shown in our face and we don't like it, but it's just that, oh, okay, I get it, right? Thank you, Earth Angel, for doing that.
And then, also, you never know, like, to me, relationships and what you learn from people don't have to be long, deep relationships. Oftentimes, the lesson that you're meant to be taught is by a passerby, even an experience you see. We think about this like when we're young, we see another child sitting at a table eating alone, and it's a lesson in empathy for us as when we're children. These momentary things are really, really, they're like little angels that are here to sort of teach us, and they're not to be minimized because they can have a huge impact on your life.
Yes.
So I agree with you in that. Yeah.
Yes. It's those little shifts small hinges swing big doors, like those little things. That, and definitely the opportunities. Everything is an opportunity. So when it feels like rejection, like getting furloughed from your job and what happened there, it's always redirection in a better direction. And
100%.
Yeah, which that is such a big message I want to share with the audience. Like, don't think it's not working out for you. You're being guided and led to something else.
I heard someone say this the other day, and it's so true. And I'll kind of bring it back to the cancer journey.
Yeah.
So I heard this on this TikTok, and it was like, your life is changing because God heard a conversation you weren't privy to. And that was like, wow, it was very impactful. When I was diagnosed with cancer, I was in a job that I hated. I was in a toxic work environment.
Yeah.
I had a really horrible boss. I was in a bad environment, and I was in a relationship that was not a healthy relationship. My life was just going in a direction, and I was just kind of like going with it because I was in a job that was technically a great job, a glamorous beauty editor job that everybody was vying for. And I had this coveted role, but I was miserable in the life that was created around it. And When I got cancer, I really feel like it was the universe course correcting for me because I couldn't do it. And I tell this to people, if you don't move fast enough in your life to make the necessary changes when you know they need to be made, the universe will come in and correct them for you. And
Yeah.
it's oftentimes in a dramatic way so that you learn the lesson. So make the changes when you know you need to make them. When you know something is not good for you, make that change because it will be made for you. And oftentimes if it's a job you don't like, you'll get fired. If it's a person you're in a relationship with, they'll cheat on you. Like it will be dramatic so that you learn the lesson.
Oh yeah.
And that all happened to me, except I left the job. I quit the job. But, it was like, I had a partner that was not great and it was all rolling out when I was diagnosed with cancer and dealing with it, battling cancer. And it was just like the craziest time. But I was like, you know what? Screw it. If it's going to all implode, let's just do it now. Let's just like change it.
Yeah. So powerful. And
Yeah.
it's being able to trust in those moments too,
Which is so hard, but you just got to oftentimes that hard moment is really for your benefit. You just got to let the universe like play it out. Like don't get in your own way. When they say don't get in your own way, they just mean it. Just like feel the energy around you, sit quiet. It's a skill set
It is.
because we have so much going on in our mind that there's too many things. Like when you're really being present and are able to kind of hear what's happening,
Yes.
you will figure it out.
And you'll receive the message if you're paying attention. And if you, an expression I learned from someone was, if you're still dealing with the same problem, then you haven't sat quietly long enough.
Correct.
You have not sat still long enough to hear the solution or to receive the solution. So,
and it shows that you're not ready. It's almost like in Earth school, we can't go from grade 1 to 2 or grade 2 to 3 until we've learned the lessons, right? We fail if we don't do well. So we're stuck. And it's the same thing in the cosmic energy experience. Like we are energy beings living an earthly experience, right? So if we don't learn lesson 1, we're not getting a lesson 2. If we don't learn lesson 2, we're not getting a lesson 3. It's the same premise. So,
right. So good. All right. Well, let's turn our attention to TikTok because I love your content a lot and I'm learning a lot from you. So what do you want people to know who may not know about you there that is the purpose for you being a digital content creator and putting out the content that you do there? Because it's a variety of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not mean, I had no intention of ever going on TikTok. It was like many people during the pandemic, I got furloughed from my editorial job because, I was at a celebrity tabloid, they're sold at the supermarket in the checkout aisle where people finger through them. Well, no one was doing any of that during the pandemic. So we were all furloughed and then they laid off like 300 of us at the end of the year. This is before Talk Shop Live. So I was like, well, what do I want to talk about? I was kind of, I'd kind of like done the run. I felt like my journey in celebrity magazines had ended. I loved it. I love I love celebrity content. I did. It was a different beast though many years ago. It wasn't what it is now. And I just felt like it had run its course. I wasn't really interested in doing it again. And I knew that there would be something else. I just didn't know what it was going to be. Yeah. So, one day I just decided to go on TikTok and start doing, all the young kids were doing it at the time. And I was like, I don't know. I felt like the Instagram algorithm was not my friend. I was not growing. I was being shown to the same like 12 people that I already knew. And they were all in my editor circle. And I was like, I just need a fresh place. Like I need to find my people. And I wasn't really finding them on Instagram. So I went on TikTok and I was just really, it was part wanting to continue to grow and also to like just have something to do so I wasn't going crazy during the pandemic and focusing on, the kind of loss of my job. And at the time it was like the job had not disappeared yet. We were just furloughed, but I knew like what if it came back, I wasn't going to go back.
Yeah.
So I just was like, for me, I've always had the philosophy of having a side hustle because it keeps you fresh. It keeps you appreciative of the job that you have. It keeps you creative. It allows you to sort of outsource yourself and meet new people. And it makes you stronger in both capacities, right? And
Yeah.
so I went on there and I was like, I really want to talk to women who are going through menopause because I'm having a difficult time. My skin is changing, my hair is changing, my body is changing. Nobody talks to 50-year-old women anymore. They just like, you're dead in the water,
Yes. Isn't it
And I was
terrible?
like, I just, I don't know if this is going to be anything. And I was like on there for months and months and months and months and months. I remember when I got 1,000 followers, I was so excited because I could do a live. You have to have 1,000 followers to go live. And I was like, oh, I want to go live. I want to like meet my people. And it was just a really weird app, but I kind of like it became very organic. Even the way of shooting in it is so much easier to me than like Instagram. Like, I don't know. I don't feel it. And I within months had a few viral videos and things just like took off in a way that I was not anticipating. But I think the way that I've always just been a loudmouth. I speak my truth. I share my opinions. I'll say dirty words,
Yeah.
and that's not always well received in a lot of different places, but it was like people were thirsty for organic, real conversations. And I have met so many amazing people on TikTok, so many amazing women. I have, it's just been such a refreshing experience. My sad thing is I don't think it's going to survive into the
Mm.
next administration. So I'm just enjoying it while I can, and I'll figure out the next thing next.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy it because I get to meet, like I would never, and I have never seen you on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Like we
Right.
kill ourselves to create content and the algorithm is just horrible. It really doesn't share well. I mean, I wish there was an American company that would create a TikTok like platform, but it's just not happening right now.
Yeah.
So
It's not. Yeah. And it is about having those conversations and really connecting with people. Because same with me, I've been on the app for, I don't know, 2 years, but not active at all. I go in little spurts, but I was never committed to it. And I got guided one day. It was like, woo, this big download came in. I left the beach. I had a baseball cap on, no makeup. And I heard clearly, pull over right now and record this for TikTok, which I immediately, when I get a download like that, I just, whatever it is, I stop and I do it. And it turns out the reason why, well, first of all, the message was powerful. It went viral. It went like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is what's going viral, but it was so powerful.
yeah.
But the reason why it was like right there, they dropped it in that moment. I pulled over to the side of the road is it became a 2-part. I had to do it in 2 parts because it was too much information. And so while the one video was uploading, a guy crashed into the median, hit a street sign and crashed into a tree 20 feet from me. And I was like, I was put there so I could call 911 for this guy. Like just all the things going on. Anyway, I posted it and totally forgot about it. And so that's where it's really started for me. It's been 7 weeks, something like that, but I've grown exponentially as well. And what I'm finding is the videos where last night I'm in my robe with glasses on and I talked about decluttering your space to make room for the energy to come and to manifest. Like I just came to me and getting all this attention on it. And then the ones where I'm looking all nice and pretty, whatever, so I love the fact that people are just really seeking connection and relatable information.
Yeah.
They're not caring about being sold to, even though they get sold to, but they really want to see people in the real environment and really do want to learn from people. That's my experience.
Listen, the highlight reel days of Instagram ended with TikTok because people didn't want to see the rich girl showing her clothes and her bags.
Nope.
In the changing landscape of America, it didn't resonate anymore. It wasn't relatable anymore. And I think that that's what the beauty of TikTok has been, is that it's been us allowing ourselves to have real truthful conversations about everything. And it's not just beauty. It's about our relationships. It's about, everything, really everything. I mean, I don't know anybody who talked about, I never heard anybody talking about the really horrible side effects of menopause, besides a hot flash. Like, I was talking about, like, hey, what's the best lube? What do I do with a dry vagina? Like, these crazy things that, like, if you would mention in any other environment, people would be like, oh my God, don't talk about that. But, like, it is a real struggle, a real concern for women who not only see their bodies changing, but, like, their relationships being affected. And it was like those kind of conversations that were instantly absorbed by the community, because it was really information that they needed. And, I think that it's connected women that really needed to be connected to each other, and it's just been a great experience. And it's also, like, been great for my work, and for people that I'm able to bring onto our platform to sell their products. Like, it's just been a really great connector in so many ways.
Yeah.
So many ways.
I love that. So, I have a couple more questions for you. What do you wish more people knew
about me?
In general, maybe about you, and then in life. Like, what do you wish more people knew? Having experienced your journey up until today, what do you wish they would know?
Well, I wish that everybody knew that, like, and I think this is true for a general rule, but I think when I was young, I was loud, I was brash. And I think that life changes you. You learn, you grow, and I think there are still moments where I'm like, I really have to, like, okay, you need to take a step back. You need to, like, approach it in a quieter, more respectful way. There's always those learning things, but I do feel like my young self, I wish I could talk to my young self again and just say, my mother used to say it to me all the time. You catch more bees with honey than you do vinegar.
Yes.
I think because I came from, like, a divorced family, and it was a very crazy upbringing, that I was, like, almost like a survivalist. Like, I felt like I always had to be going and getting and being aggressive at the get. And I don't think I think being ambitious is great. And I think being assertive is good, but there is an energy level that doesn't have to be, you don't have to be crazy to the get. You can be respectful in the get, to yourself, mostly, really.
Yes.
And then, in terms of, the message for everybody, I just, I think what I like to say is there's always an end. There's an end to it all in this experience. You're never going to have this moment in time again. You're never going to have the people around you again. Like, you will. I think you travel with, like, a soul group, but I think the next experience is going to be very different. And so I always try to tell people to be present, forget the noise in your head. That's a computer system talking to you, and it's a survivalist talking to you. Be present, stay present in the moment, because I think that those things, it's good to plan, it's good to do all those things. But when I say, like, be present in the moment, like, when you're out for dinner with your family, be off your phone. Like, I am really good about, like, putting my phone away at certain times, really disconnecting, trying to just really stay, and being kind to people. The best lesson that I ever read was, when you're having trouble when you hate someone, or someone's giving you a hard time, or try to look at that person and think of them when they were 5.
Yeah. That's what I say all the time.
There's a child in that person and try to remember the child.
Yeah.
And it does. Like when I'm sitting in a conversation, someone's not being nice to me, or there is a situation happening where I'm getting frustrated, I just try to remember the child.
Yes. Yeah. I've
Sometimes
seen.
it doesn't work, but you know, you
Yeah.
kind of am like, oh, this is someone's, you automatically think this is someone's child. This is someone's brother and sister. This is someone who like is still navigating their way.
Yes. This is someone who deserves love just as much as everybody else. This is such a hard concept for a lot of people, and especially the state of our world, not just now, for decades, for, decades.
Yeah.
This has been happening. And I've had my own negative experiences recently on this app for the first time in my being out and my reinvention to leave corporate America and leave ABC to reinvent myself as a life and mindset coach and TV host and do the things that I'm doing. I've been pretty unscathed until recently, and it actually was on the app. And what I felt was, wow.
Was it comments, like negative comments?
Oh yeah. So a couple of things happened, and I don't want to give it attention because that's not how I roll.
Right.
But what I saw was, oh my gosh, there's just so many hurt, angry, lonely people in the world who just project. And it's everywhere too. And listen, I'm launching a new television network later this year. I don't know if I shared this with you, but I'm happy.
Oh, exciting.
Oh yeah. Because I came from that world, and there's a massive gap and opportunity to do something different, and I'm going to do it differently. But we can't help but be programmed by so much of that negative narrative because it's everywhere.
Yeah.
And the person is the 5-year-old child, but that 5-year-old child was also parented by 5-year-old children, and they were parented by 5-year-old children. And it's not been acceptable to, well, this could go way, way deep, and I don't want to go off in the woods or anything, but to understand the basic necessity that we all need to be seen, heard, appreciated, and acknowledged. That's what we want. We came here to love and be loved. And so when anyone's projecting anything negative, it is strictly coming from pain, because hurt people hurt people.
Yeah.
And so to be able to remember that in the moment, because I know sometimes it's not hard. It's not hard.
Yeah.
Because
it's always amazing to me, like the people that will actually take time out of their day to leave a nasty comment.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, what's here that you don't have, that you are so triggered to leave a comment? And I think, you know what? I think it's just a tough time in this world. I do think we are in a time of awakening, in that the people that are awake are aware, and the people that are not are not. And there are both two powerful sides coming to a head. And it's, to me, when people leave a nasty comment, and I tell my audience this all the time, if you are going to stop and leave a nasty comment, I'm going to stop and delete the comments, because I won't do it when it's like a comment that rebuffs what I'm saying.
Yes.
Like, well, I don't agree with you, because I feel like there should be that kind of dialogue, right? We learn from oftentimes the opposite thought process that we have.
Do. That's how we learn.
But when it gets nasty, it's when it's gone. Delete, block, bye to you.
Likewise.
And on TikTok, I believe that a lot of those are bots. If you go to the page, there are no followers. They're following 3 people. You kind of know when it's like, and I think that TikTok does that to kind of spur up the algorithm for your video. So I don't know, like.
Yeah. Well, I do the same exact thing. If it's an actual person, I see pictures of videos. I send them love and light, and then I block them, and just send them on their way. Because it's our profile. It's our work that we're putting out in the world. And we actually do get to control those comments, right? And if it's nasty, and it's and so many times it's user blah blah blah, right?
Right,
There are
right.
no videos, right?
Yeah.
So they could be bots.
Yeah, those are
But
bots. But when it's a person, you know, I'm always just like, you
yeah,
know, I'm glad you took the time to like interact. I love that you're here, but you know, let's keep it high and let's vibe high.
yeah. Well, what you said is you know wonder what it is, and you answered your own question. It's one thing. It's unawareness. They
Yeah.
are unaware of their power,
Yeah.
of how magnificent they are. They're unaware.
Right.
They're unaware.
Because in their mind, they're a human with
Right.
a soul or whatever. But
Right.
but we know that we're energy in this experience. And it's a totally different, you really do, it changes how you move about life when
Yeah.
you look at it that way.
It's true. It's true. All right, Kate, I got to ask you a question. I ask all my guests this. So it's not a trick question, but I want to know how you live the I have today way, which is intentionally in the present moment. And if you could start it with I have today too.
I have today too, by doing my gratitudes and by just staying present every day.
Mm.
I make sure that I am always thanking God, the universe, my spirit guides, whoever, for protecting me, keeping me surrounded by good people, by allowing me to have the opportunity to have a creative job. Like those kind of things I really take for granted. And I have, you know, and that presence of
Yeah.
mind allows me to really appreciate every day that I'm in. So,
So beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, well, is there any final piece of advice or words of wisdom that you would like to share with our audience? You've been so gracious today.
no, just, you know, stay grateful, stay present and stay grateful.
Mm-hmm. Well, we are. All right. So we're going to put up some information. Let people know how they can follow you and find out more information about you.
I can be found on TikTok or Instagram, both at Kate Kiernan, Kate Cait, Kiernan Kiernan. And I am also on Talk Shop Live. So if you have something you want to sell, come on and do some live selling.
Yes. We're going to have to talk, sister.
Yes. Yes, we should.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Amazing. So, all right. Well, we'll also make sure to have a link to Kate's book. You got to get it because the people she's interviewed and her own experience and her authenticity is incredible. Look how amazing she is. Make sure you are following her and be nice and kind. I know you will. If you're my audience, I know you will be nice and kind. And thank you for sharing so vulnerably with us today. And I know you and I will definitely keep in touch. Would love to do that.
Thank you for having me. I really, it's been a fun conversation.
Yeah, it's my pleasure always. So, all right, I will talk to you soon. Thanks so much.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye. She is delightful. So delightful, isn't she? And so beautiful. I am like absorbing her content so much. It's been so helpful for me. So make sure you check her out. All right, what we're going to do with our last few minutes of the show today is a couple of things. Stay till the end because we're doing our mantra meditation. I want you leaving here feeling better at the end than you did at the beginning. And we do that to incorporate everything that we've talked about today. But before we do that, I want to share this video with you. If you've ever thought about hosting your own show, maybe you want to be out there in a bigger way and want to be better on camera, better in video, create amazing content, but do it in a television show format. I want you to take a look and a listen to this video right now. Hey there. Do you want to become a TV host and earn 5, 6, even 7 figures in your business, even if you have no experience? Listen, if you're a woman professional and entrepreneur and you help women solve a major life or business challenge with the work that you do, then this is for you. If that's not you, feel free to click skip. But if that is you, then pay very close attention because what I'm about to share in this video has the power to transform your life and your career. Hi, I'm Diane Forster. After 20 years at ABC TV and hosting my own TV show for the last 5 years, I've made millions of dollars in my career, won multiple awards, appear all over national media and big stages, all because I have a TV show. I'm not spending all day doing marketing strategies that just don't work. I'm using the power of one brilliant TV show to do the work for me, and I'm teaching my clients how to do it. Now, the strategy works so well, we've been able to quickly help women just like you launch their own brilliant TV shows, streamline their marketing efforts, and generate more income and impact. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to check out this presentation right now. Just click the link below under this video. You'll be taken to this sign-up page where you get a 24-hour pass to watch the presentation. Now take a look at Alexis Johnson. She was struggling with her marketing and in her business on how to effectively reach her right market. She put these strategies into place and launched her first show in just 30 days. Not only that, she generated $25,000 in revenue before she even launched. Now here's Megan Benson. She was also struggling with trying to be too many places and was getting nowhere. And she had no experience in TV at all. She followed the strategies, and her new game show, Get in the Game, is premiering on ABC in Santa Barbara. So again, click the link and go to the sign-up page for your 24-hour pass. Then sit down, get something to take notes with, and watch this masterclass because this has the power to change your life. Now, it doesn't matter what niche you're in. You absolutely can and should have a TV show. This works for you, even if you have no experience, or you don't have a lot of time, or you don't even know how to start. You need to click this link now and learn how TV hosting can totally change your career and life. Click the link, sign up, and I'll see you there. All right, so now's your chance. I want you to go to tvstarhost.com, tvstarhost.com, register for the free masterclass, because if you've ever thought about doing this, this is your chance to learn why now is the absolute best time. So I know you're going to get a lot of value out of it. So go check it out. All right, well, we're getting ready to do our mantra meditation, and I want you to, if you're driving, obviously pay attention to the road. You cannot close your eyes, but for everybody else, let's put down the devices. Let's stop the distractions for just a few minutes, like 3 minutes max. And let's get grounded. Let's get intentional. Let's get aligned. And let's integrate what we learned today. Okay, so here's how it's going to roll. I'm going to have you breathe in for the count of 4, pull that all the way down to like your tailbone, which is your root chakra area, and do that to the count of 4. And then I want you to hold it as you count to 8. And as you're counting to 8, I want you to send energy and light up each one of your 8 chakras. Yes, 8. So your solar plexus, your sacral, your root chakra, your sacral, your solar plexus, your heart, your throat, your third eye, your crown, and then your soul star, which sits about above, like a foot or so above your head. Very important that you clear away that karmic residue, because that's your channel and your portal to receive information. So, and then I want you to blow it out for 8 seconds like you're blowing out birthday candles. Like, get every toxic cell, energy, memory, emotion up and out of you. I imagine that it's like sooty smoke, just releasing my body. We're going to do that 2 times. I'll walk you through it. Just listen to the words. So here we go. Feet flat on the floor, hands on your lap. You can keep them face down. If you feel grounded and if you want to receive more energy, then flip them up. Close those eyes. Now breathe in through your nose for the count of 4. Hold it as we count and light up our chakras for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Blow it out for 8. Should feel like a deflated balloon. It feels so good. All right, let's do that one more time. Breathe in for the count of 4. Hold it and count to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Blow it out for 8. I have today to love my life. Something really good is going to happen to me today. I can feel it. Miracles big and small. I notice them all. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. I have today to look and feel beautiful at any age. In fact, at every age. I am beautiful on the inside and out. I was born, therefore I am beautiful. I am special. I am magical. I am worthy. I am deserving of everything that I want in this world. It's not vain or egotistical to want to look and feel beautiful. It's my birthright. And I am allowed to feel that way each and every day, no matter what the circumstances are, no matter what society will have me believe. It's just not true. All those images and messages that I receive from other people that make me feel less than are not my truth. I don't have to buy it. I don't have to believe it. When I truly believe inside myself how beautiful I am and worthy and deserving, no matter what life has handed me, that becomes my truth. It's very empowering. And it starts with gratitude. When I live in gratitude and appreciation for even just the breath in my lungs, all the little things, that starts stockpiling. And then I become a magnetic attractor to amazing people, supportive people, wonderful opportunities. And I realize there's nothing I can't do. There's nothing I can't overcome. This life journey is so brief, and it's meant to be beautiful. It's meant to be amazing. And when it appears like things aren't working out for me, I know I'm being redirected to something better. And that feels good. Like Kate said, there's always an end. I'm ever evolving, ever expanding, ever growing. And just because something ends doesn't mean that it failed. It just means that something new is coming. It is the best. But how to live in this space every day, in my beauty, thriving, feeling gratitude, is to be present. Because I know all I have today is today, and it is a gift. And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to thank Caitlin Kiernan for being my guest today. Make sure you are following her at KateKiernan.com. I'm sorry, at Kate Kiernan on all social media. And make sure you're following me, Diane Forster Official. And I Have Today with Diane Forster. I want to say thank you to you, the audience that comes here, to everyone who's been here before and anyone who's new. I truly love you. This show is about inspiring, empowering, and educating you to move through life's transitions with as much ease and grace and empowerment as possible. You are the one that has to do it, but you don't have to do it alone. So take the instant actionable things we give you here and show up week after week. Sending you so much love. I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.